Most people who suddenly inherit $5 million lose every single penny within 5 years because they make one specific mistake on the very first day. It sounds impossible to blow through that much money, but without a plan, $5 million is just a very fast car with no brakes. If you just found out you are coming into this kind of wealth, you are probably feeling a mix of deep grief and intense panic. You might be looking at your bank balance and feeling like the world just shifted under your feet, leaving you unsure where to step next. In this video, I am going to walk you through the exact steps you need to take to protect this money and make it last for the rest of your life. We are going to talk about the phone calls you need to make, the people you should avoid, and how to handle the sudden pressure from friends and family. The first thing you need to do is absolutely nothing, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. Do not go out and buy a new Porsche, do not pay off your cousin's mortgage, and do not quit your job on a whim. Psychologists call this period sudden wealth syndrome, where the shock of the money makes your brain stop thinking about the long-term future. Your brain is currently flooded with dopamine and stress, which is the worst possible state for making big financial decisions. Take that check or that account statement, put it in a secure place, and give yourself a mandatory 6-month waiting period. During these 6 months, your only job is to let the reality of the situation sink in while you keep living your normal life. If you usually eat ramen on Tuesdays and drive a 10-year-old Honda, keep doing exactly that for a little while longer. The biggest threat to your new fortune is not the stock market or taxes, it is the immediate urge to change your lifestyle. Once you have caught your breath, you need to build what I call your fortress of solitude, which is your professional team. You are going to need 3 specific people: a fee-only financial planner, a tax attorney, and a certified public accountant. Notice I said fee-only for the financial planner, which means they get paid for their time not by taking a cut of your investments. If an advisor asks for a percentage of your $5 million just to manage it, they are not your friend, they are a bill you do not need. Your tax attorney is there to make sure the government does not take more than their fair share, which can be a huge amount if you are not careful. Inheritance taxes and capital gains can eat up 40% of your wealth if you do not structure the transfers correctly. Your CPA will be the one who keeps your day-to-day books clean, so you never have to worry about a surprise audit from the IRS. When you have $5 million, you become a target for lawsuits and scammers, so having these professionals acts like a shield. Now, let's talk about the math, because $5 million is a lot of money, but it is not infinite money. If you put that money into a standard savings account, inflation will slowly eat it away until it buys half of what it does today. But if you follow the 4% rule, you can safely live off the interest without ever touching the original $5 million. 4% of $5 million is $200,000 a year, which is a very comfortable life in almost any city in the world. Think about that for a second. You could earn $200,000 every single year just for waking up in the morning. However, that only works if you do not spend the principal, which is the original $5 million you started with. The moment you dip into that $5 million to buy a mansion or a private jet, your yearly income starts to shrink forever. This is the challenge most young inheritors fail at because they see the $5 million as a pile of cash to spend. You have to stop seeing it as a pile of cash and start seeing it as a machine that breathes out $200,000 a year. Before you start the machine, you need to clean up your old life by paying off all your high-interest debt. If you have credit card balances or high-interest personal loans, pay them off immediately because those interest rates are higher than what you will earn. Keep your mortgage for now if the interest rate is low, because there is no rush to tie up all your cash in real estate. Next, set aside a 1-year emergency fund in a high-yield savings account that is separate from your investment portfolio. This fund is your ultimate safety net, ensuring that even if the stock market crashes, you can still pay your bills for 12 months. Now comes the hardest part of having $5 million, dealing with the people you know and love. Word travels fast, and suddenly, people you haven't talked to since high school will start reaching out with great business ideas. Your aunt might need help with her medical bills, or your best friend might want you to fund their new tech startup. You need to develop a standard response, something like, "My money is tied up in a legal trust and I do not have direct access to it." By blaming a trust or a professional advisor, you remove the personal conflict and protect your relationships from being ruined by money. It is much easier to say "my advisor said no" than it is to say "I am choosing not to help you." If you really want to help people, set a specific charity budget at the beginning of the year and stick to that number strictly. When it comes to investing the bulk of the money, keep it simple by using low-cost index funds that cover the whole market. You do not need to pick the next Amazon or gamble on crypto to stay wealthy when you are already at the finish line. The goal now is not to get rich, because you already are. The goal is to stay rich and let the money grow quietly. A mix of total stock market funds and some high quality bonds will provide the stability you need to sleep well at night. You should also consider your own career and purpose because having no reason to get out of bed is a recipe for depression. Many young adults who inherit wealth fall into a trap of endless vacations and partying, which feels good for a month but empty for a year. Use this money to buy your time back so you can pursue a career you actually love, even if it does not pay well. Maybe you want to be a painter or a teacher, or start a nonprofit that helps animals in your local community. The $5 million is not a ticket to stop working. It is a ticket to stop doing work that you hate. As you move forward, keep a very close eye on your monthly expenses and avoid the trap of lifestyle creep. Buying a bigger house means higher property taxes, higher utility bills, and more expensive furniture to fill the rooms. If you stay in a modest home and drive a reliable car, your $5 million will likely grow to $10 million in 15 years. That is the power of compound interest when you have a massive head start like the one you have just received. Be grateful for the legacy you have been given, but remember that the person who left this to you wanted you to have a better life, not a more complicated one. Stay humble, keep your circle small, and treat this wealth as a responsibility to be managed rather than a prize to be spent. If you handle this correctly, you have just secured the financial future for your children and your grandchildren as well. To learn more about how to set up those low-cost index funds we talked about, watch this video next.